does that entail in terms of learning and inclusion? What are you trying to impart to your employees? What new technologies are you using to do it?
So we are excited about technology and what it's doing for us, and our efforts right now are focused in the area of gaming and simulation. Our industry, the work is very dangerous, so we're trying to focus on how do we create a ripe, rich learning environment where we're teaching the trades and the technical aspect of our work, but in a way that is the most safe while painting those lifelike conditions. So we're using simulators. We're very excited about our entry into virtual reality and augmented reality, where it's actually putting you on a job site and you are able to spot the hazards and recognize the hazards, and forms of augmented reality where you are in not a computer generated but photographically an actual pump house or a boiler room where you're seeing actual technology with tags on each piece so that you can understand their relationships to each other, when to use them, and how to spot the hazards. Those are very exciting for us. We're also using, we have consequential simulators and manhole simulators where we're putting our employees in a simulated manhole, but we're using dry ice and fog machines to simulate smoke conditions, sound to simulate potential issues that they might hear in the field, honking horns for buses, pedestrians, children laughing and playing in the street, all of those signals that you have to know which ones to pay attention to and which ones to sort of weed out and put in a different basket while they do their work. So it's exciting.
It seems like the technology is making it more realistic, because I would assume that in the past you had similar scenarios but not as realistic.
We have hands-on labs. For Con Edison of New York, we have a 11-acre campus on the East River here in New York. So we have pole yards, we've got hands-on labs, and you will always need instructors, that instructor-led training, because in our type of work, you're always going to need to touch the wire, put your hands on the pipes, you need to smell it and taste it and feel the weight of it. But technology is helping us get upstream because there's dangers and safety hazards in those hands-on labs. But can we get one more step in advance of that to simulate lifelike conditions before we turn you loose in a lab, and then ultimately before we turn you loose in the field as a well-trained student and employee?
What's been your experience with this conference today? Anything jumps out at you that you can take back to Con Edison?
Absolutely. I find comfort in hearing that some of the similar challenges that other industries, albeit in learning, are facing are those same kinds of conversations that we're having in my company. The conversation we had earlier this morning about curation and helping learners be not overwhelmed when they're trying to find information internally, that really resonates. We know it's YouTube Nation. So spending more time in the curation lane, so many of us have been in creation mode, and maybe the only curation we did was thinning down the pack, but that's not enough. It's finding, how do I let Vanessa know when she signs on, these are the things that will help you in your current job, or these are the things that can help you get to this job. That's really exciting, and that's where some real effort needs to be for us.
I'm wondering, because in Con Ed, of course, the knowing how to be safe is primary and number one, but I'm curious about, like you mentioned, the other jobs. Maybe you want to come in and do something else, staying within the company and growing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have, because it's a union workforce, in our real trades jobs, we have very defined career paths that have prescribed courses, and that's all very accessible online. And so from a curation perspective, we do that well, but from a changing of disciplines and for the management population, there's much more room to do there because it is a bit less prescribed and more gray is introduced.
And finally, so where do you see things heading for Con Ed in the future? I know people in your position, you're kind of not looking a year ahead, but you're kind of looking 5 years ahead.
We are. And we're looking 20 years ahead. Technology. One of the slides earlier today talked about how in 2 to 5 years, I think the stat was, so many different changes are happening in the energy markets alone, different sources of energy. So that certainly speaks to the tumultuous times that the energy industry is in. We've got more solar panels, we've got very new environmentally conscious sources of energy, and green is growing. And so all of that reduces the demand for the traditional energy sources as we know it. And so we're looking at our business and trying to understand, how will our relationship with our customers change? How do we stay relevant? And how do we help them navigate the waters? Because with more and more technology, we're putting more data in the hands of our customers. So our role, we know, will become more of an advisor and an analyst than we've ever been before with our customers.
You're also dealing with nature because you have
Yes.
things that's really beyond your control, and depending on whose perspective you take, may be something you'll be facing increasingly, maybe every other year, these catastrophic conditions.
Yes, certainly with all the storms we've seen in the Gulf this season, that certainly seems to be the case. And we've had many lessons to be learned with Superstorm Sandy that we had in 2012. And so these are more reasons why making learning and knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing convenient and easy, and we know that our employees need the right information at the right time in the way that they want it. So making the learning mobile so that they can access it anywhere, making it short and crisp so they can get the snippets they need. Those are keys to helping us.